This is a Much Music special presentation.
Okay, I'm just going to ask you one thing. We got to let her speak so that we can interact together, because she's got stuff to say, right? All stuff that you want to hear. You excited about this? You all get to ask some questions to Janet here inside the environment. If you're outside the building, you get to ask some questions as well. We've got some fax, some phone, some email questions. If you live at home, if you're at home and you're watching the show. Well, some people live outside of home. But if you want to get interactive with Janet, this is the way to do it.
You can talk to Janet live at Much. The toll-free number to call is 1-800-265-MUCH. That's 1-800-265-6824. By fax, the number is area code 416-591-MUCH. That's area code 416-591-6824. You can email Janet at janetlive@muchmusic.com.
And that's how you interact with Janet from home. Of course, this is a multi-talented artist. She's a singer, songwriter, producer, dancer. You've got a great business mind that I want to talk about as well. And, of course, everybody here wants to get a chance to know a little bit more about you. Are you excited about this? It's a big event.
I really am. It's really great to see everyone here. I've actually never done anything like this before, so it's really cool to be so close. Very nice, very intimate.
It's very intimate, it's very impromptu, so that we get a chance to get to know you. We're going to be doing that and hopefully getting to hear your questions right after this with Janet.
Your career, it's your destiny, and you have to guide that. You always hope that your project is successful, but I never knew the extent that this success was going to be, really. I just want to thank everyone for voting for me. Thank you so very much. This is really an honor. Thanks. I love films. I love acting and that whole art. You know, I think it's great. The minute you hear the kids and their energy and excitement and love, it totally puts you in a different space, and you're ready to give everything that you have. Years to come, how do I see myself? Still making music, acting a lot more, helping others with their music, whether it's through writing, producing, things of that nature. I went back into my childhood and looked at certain things. I had to get through certain pain there in order to move on to the next step. I'm still sifting through a lot of pain, and that is what's on the album.
I'll never forget my baby.
I'll never forget you. I always write about what's going on in my life at the moment, things that mean a lot to me.
Spend most your life pretending not to be the one you are, but who you choose to be.
I would go in to sing certain songs like You, and I'd have to stop. I couldn't finish the session. I had a journalist say to me that he felt that this album was very angry. I think there's one angry song on there, and that's the song What About, and rightfully so, talking about domestic violence. These are things that have always been really, I can relate to. People talk about, well, there's a, how much privacy do you want versus, you know, you letting everyone know what's going on in your life. But there's a give and take to it. It was a real difficult album for me to make, but the most important one.
With those songs, how do you feel about the songs, and have they helped you?
I'm sorry, living with songs. The songs.
The songs on the Velvet Rope.
Yes.
I mean, we just saw a segment that was on the Velvet Rope.
Yes.
And you know, you talk about how this is your most important album, your most difficult album. Some of the songs that you started recording that you had to leave for a while, go back in the studio, finish recording. After living with all of those songs for a year, how do you now feel about the songs, and have they indeed helped you resolve some of the issues that you're singing about on the album?
Definitely. I mean, they helped me resolve a lot of issues while I was actually singing them. After recording the music, it helped a great deal. But sometimes certain things just resurface, and you have to deal with it again. But I'm happy I did it. I needed to do this album for myself. And there was a lot that I needed to get off my chest, and a lot that I wanted the public to understand about myself, and hopefully to help others. And that's why I did this album.
It's interesting. I was talking to some of your fans outside earlier, and they were saying how they love Janet because Janet really understands them. Do you feel that your album not only reflects you, but explains the things that they might not understand about you?
I think it definitely explains a great deal about me that they may have never known. You know, we go through a lot of the same things, and I basically wanted to say that you're not alone, even though you may feel alone at times, and that's the way that I felt during the making of this album, and even before then, and just to let them know that they're not alone, and if I can get through this, if I can succeed, so can they.
Well, it's obvious to see how the fans feel about you. They literally idolize you. I mean, they scream, they go crazy when they see you. Obviously, you've gone through an extraordinary amount of growth while recording this album. What is your perception of yourself today?
I perceive myself as a much stronger person. There was a lot that I had to accept about myself that was very difficult for me, that I had to just kind of look in the mirror and find something very, very positive in myself, which was very difficult for me to do. And those are the things that I have finally accepted, and my perception of myself is a great deal of growth. I've changed a great deal, and my friends saw it before I did, and I see it now, especially after making this album, and I do believe it's for the better.
Well, we've got a few questions from the audience. Remy in particular is waiting to ask you a question. Hi, Remy.
Hi, Janet. I just want to tell you that I love you, and I've been a fan for 11 years. My question is, I know you believe in life after death, so who do you think you were in the life before, and who do you think you will be in the life after?
Who do I think I was in the... Gosh, you know, I don't know. I think maybe I was an animal of some sort in the life before. I don't know what I'm going to be to come in the life to come.
Do you feel like you have a deeper purpose, perhaps a mission? You went through so much. You were able to turn so many negatives into positives. Do you think there's a reason for that?
I feel that we're all put on this earth for a certain reason. We have duties. And I do as well. And aside from making my music, mine is to help people. I love helping people. I've always wanted to be a philanthropist and to do it through what I know best, which is my music. And any person that I can possibly help in any way, even if it's just one person, that's an accomplishment to me because I know that that person will go on to help someone and so on and so on. So it'll, kind of like a snowballing effect. Mm-hmm. And that's what I really feel that I was put on this earth to do. I love helping people.
Well, we've got another question this time from Shay. She's in the audience as well. Shay?
Hey, Janet. Just to let you know that this is a dream come true for me, and I'm shaking. But when it's just you and you're alone, not worried about being on stage or on tour or recording in the studio, what are the intimate details that run through your mind?
Well, obviously myself, yes? The intimate details.
Or just things that run through your head.
Things that run through my head. I don't know if I can say. Well, I don't know if everyone here is. That's good. A lot of, geez, gosh, you kind of caught me. A lot of a lot of sexual things at times, really. That's just me, though.
You do seem to be so much more comfortable with your sexuality than you were in the past. I mean, 12 years ago you came out with an album, Control, but it seems like now you're really in control.
Well, I've learned that really to be in control is truly to be out of control. If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, you have to let go in order to truly be in control, which is what I've learned. And that really wasn't talked about in my family, in their house growing up. So it was something that was very quiet and kind of getting out from under that whole umbrella and being incredibly sheltered growing up and meeting friends that I've had for years. I mean, you wind up experiencing and learning different things. And I think all of that is what truly brought me out. And you have questions and you start answering those questions and exploring. And I think that's how it truly came about.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about sex later on in the show, but first, we've got a very unique concept here at Much Music, which is called Speakers Corners, where people can literally walk into the booth and comment about anything under the sun, anything that means something to them. They can ask questions as well. And of course, a lot of people took advantage of the fact that you were coming here today to ask you questions. So we've got a Speakers Corner on the road from Montreal. Okay? Sure.
Listen carefully.
Hi Janet, this is Kete from Montreal. You're one of the biggest female singers today, and I would like to know, what have you learned about success from other female vocalists?
From other female vocalists, as easily as it comes for some of us, it can quickly go. To cherish each and every moment, not to take it for granted. I've seen a lot of artists just totally take it for granted, as if it's going to last forever. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's only been with one project that they've had a great amount of success. Learning how to deal with that, keeping their feet firmly planted on the ground. I've seen egos get way out of control, out of hand. And just seeing all of that is what I've learned from a lot of artists, as well as the positive things, like I talked about, and trying to enjoy each and every moment, which is very difficult for me to do, and stop and enjoy the success that you've had. Things like that. Make a big difference.
We've got another question. This time it's from Melanie, who's in Sydney. She's on the phone. Hi. Are you there, Melanie? Hello? Melanie, are you there? You know what? We're going to come back to you, sweetie. First of all, we've got another question here. It was kindly slipped to me. It's a fax question. We'll try to get back to Melanie on the phone after that. This is a question from Jennifer Hollett in Toronto, Ontario, who says, Janet, your music makes me dance. What music makes you dance?
Oh, gosh. All different types of music. I love Brazilian jazz. I love rap. I love just different types. Well, that's really to relax, to kind of meditate. I was going to mention this, an artist from Tibet that I've really been into lately, and I got a CD, her CD from one of the promoters in Germany, and I'm absolutely in love with it. But as far as dancing, I love rap, I love hip-hop, Brazilian jazz. But growing up, I listened to different types of music because there were so many kids in the family. There were just all different types of music going on, from classical to folk to country to rhythm and blues.
Well, you certainly know how to make the whole world dance, not only with the songs off the album, but with the incredible remixes that you do. And I was reading something about being able to do remixes from a distance with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis over the phone.
Oh, that process. Well, it wasn't a remix that we actually did. It was the Shaggy song that I've never even met Shaggy, and he recorded his piece before I did, and Jimmy called me up and asked me if I would participate, and I was happy to. And I was in London with the tour, and at Abbey Road Studio where the Beatles recorded all their stuff, and in the actual recording booth where they recorded the Sgt. Pepper, and using John Lennon's microphone, and we did it over the phone, actually. I was speaking to him over the phone. I could hear him in the headphones and singing to, the track.
And that was off the soundtrack to How Stella Got Her Groove Back, right?
Yes.
How did Janet get her groove back?
How did I get my groove back?
We've got a phone call from Margaret. Do we have you?
Yeah, hello?
Oh, hi, Margaret. Do you have a question for Janet?
Yeah, I'd just like to say you're my idol, and I love you so much.
Oh, thank you. I love you, too.
I'd just like to ask you how many people audition to be your dancers, and if you ever plan on having any more auditions.
How many dancers do I have?
Yes. Or how many auditioned for you?
Oh, God. I don't even know the answer to that question. There were tons, because we had an open audition, and people would send in tapes from all over the place. I mean, videotapes, if you couldn't afford to fly in, tape yourself and send it in. Kids were sending stuff in, and we looked at a lot of kids that way as well. There are actually 9 dancers on stage with me, which is the most I've ever had.
That's incredible. And you've got to have a real sense of the person, not just technically, yeah, you're a great dancer, but you have to have a good rapport with these people.
For myself, the most important thing is what's in the heart. I feel that we can work together on getting it as perfect as possible and getting it really clean. It's about what's in the heart, what's there with the person. Because, you become friends, you wind up living together. I mean, we started in March with this tour. We're not going to finish till the end of January. And we're a very close group. And I good-hearted people. That's what also keeps me going, aside from music inspiring me. Very good-hearted people. And I must say, I absolutely love the group that we have, and that's no BS. That's the truth.
We've got a lot of good-hearted people here in the audience. Of course, in the environment, people that are watching at home. But exactly, there's some people, and they slept here. They have been here all day, all night, buying the music. They slept here. Now, I have a proposal for you. Will you come to the window with me and say hi to the fans? You'll do this? All right. Now, these are people that love you, and they're all thrilled to see you. Hey! Hold on. Now, of course, a couple of these people have some questions for you, and I'm going to try to find some pertinent questions for you. Hold on just one sec. Okay. Let's come over here. has to say. Hi, what's your name?
Jessica.
Do you have a question for Janet, Jessica?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if she can hear.
Go ahead.
Okay, you said that you're at the happiest point in your life, and I want to know what changes have you made in your life to make you a stronger and happier person?
Ah, that's a really good question that Jessica has. She says, apparently, you're at the happiest point in your life, and how do you remain strong and happy?
I think it's several things. It's more than one thing. It's, for one, having a one-on-one relationship with God, I think is very important. Finding that specialness within you and staying in touch with that. Staying in touch with your spirituality. The people that I surround myself with, my friends, which more so than anything are mainly the dancers, and I have a few friends outside of that. To me, that's what keeps me going. That's what inspires me aside from the people, from the kids, the fans.
Keeps us strong and focused. That's good. Excellent. Now we've got another question here. Tyler, do you have a question for Janet?
Yeah, I'm here with my friend Asma from Ottawa, and we just wanted to ask her, we know that in the past year you've had a lot of criticism for a departure in musical style and being more open with your life. We were just wondering if you have any regrets over the last year.
He was just saying that he had read a great deal of press where perhaps you had been criticized, and that must have been difficult. What was the tail end of your question? I couldn't hear you either.
Just in light of all the criticism in the last year, which has been pretty heavy sometimes, do you have any regrets?
Any regrets?
That's always going to happen, you know, and you can't control that. It's out of your control, you know, so you can't stress about it, even though at times you do. You can't, I mean, it's out of your control. What are you going to do? And it's going to be for the rest of your life, as long as you're in a business like this. So you've given a certain hand that, you know, in life, that a certain hand that you're dealt, and you play your cards as best as you possibly can. It's the way that I see it.
And you do your best, and obviously you've done that your entire life, and it's working for you. Now, is everybody happy to be here? Oh yeah, the energy is high, and I know that you at home are dying to ask your own questions, so we're going to take a very short break. And when we come back, there's more Live at Much with Janet.
Did you do a lot of dance training as you grew up?
No, I didn't do any. I never had the time because I was always working. I just would dance at home with my brothers and my sisters, and that's how I picked it up, so it came natural for me. I was just so very, very shy, and Paula finally said, okay, Jan, you know the steps, you got to come to the front now. And I said, all right, and we just ran the routine over and over again, and I was so embarrassed.
I feel really, you don't look girly.
I feel like a female. And sometimes I feel very awkward. Like, oh, God, this doesn't look right on me. Do I look like a man all rough, trying to sway your hips? Dance is very important to me. I couldn't listen to music without moving. It would be impossible for me to do that. It's something that I really do love. I really love, and I don't think I'll ever stop.
Going wild. They want to ask some more questions. Are you guys up for more questions? Well, of course, we're not just focusing on the people in the immediate environment. We've got people across North America that want to ask you questions. In particular, Bayush from Vancouver, BC. Bayush, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, I went to your concert in Vancouver and I loved it. And I just want to ask, how long does it take to get ready for a concert? Is there preparation involved?
You mean for the actual
Concert, yeah.
show each night?
Yes.
Gosh, well, I arrive at the venue about 3:30, and immediately we start with hair and makeup, and there's sound check, and I have people to meet before the show, and everyone has dinner, and if there are certain numbers that we need to run over for choreography purposes or for whatever reason with the band, we'll do that. Vocalize before the show. Before you know it, all your time is gone, and it's 9:30, 9:15, and it's time to hit the stage.
Now, is this the first time that you have literally directed the show? You said this and this and this and this and this is what's going on, this is where we're going, this is the choreography. It's completely and utterly you?
Yes, in the past, I've always done it with Renee. We've kind of created it together, and with this project, I needed to do it for myself, to prove something to myself. It's not a matter of control or anything like that, but that I could do it all on my own. I could do it all on my own, and that's why I did it. So I created and directed the tour.
Based on what I've heard, it was a great tour, and it's not over yet. You're performing tomorrow here in Toronto, and this audience are going to be there. And we've got another question for you. It's from the audience this time. We've got Melissa. Melissa?
Hi, Janet.
I'm Melissa.
If you could go back to the beginning of your career, what is one thing you wish you had known about the music industry?
One thing I wish I would have known about the music industry, I knew it was ruthless, but I know it really was as ruthless as it can get at times. It can be pretty brutal at times. And as a kid, you just want to create. You just want to create your music and you want to sing, but as it goes along, you get involved with or at least I should say, with the business end of it. And I think they go hand in hand, and I think it's very important, and it can be very brutal at times. That's the thing.
That's one of the things that I admire the most about you, is that you were able to develop both sides of your brain, the right side, which is more associated with the artistic, and the left side, which is much more business-oriented.
Well, I try. I try. I must say that I'm just very thankful to have wonderful people like Roger and Lindsay, surrounded by, really great people, a great team of people, Renee, so.
I heard a rumor that you had invested in a bank.
Invested in a bank?
You had invested in a bank in the UK.
In the UK?
In the UK.
Really?
All kinds of stuff.
It's partly true, but it's not. I don't talk about it. Part of that is true, but...
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds like a good investment, pretty safe investment. We've got a question from another audience member, Debbie. Debbie?
Hi, Janet. I love you so much.
Thank you. I love you, too.
Out of all the songs that you've recorded, what line most captures the essence of the artist that you are?
Wow, what line? That's difficult because there's more than just the way that I see myself than just one side of me. That's a really tough question because I think all in all, it's special. What really hit home. There's another song that I actually, it's like a bonus track for Japan only, and it's called God's Stepchild, which really talks about myself. It goes more into detail than Special does. But then there's also the other side, like Rope Burn or anything. So there are different... or like Escapade. You know what I'm saying? So there are different sides. So that's what makes it so difficult to answer that question.
We've got another question from Vancouver, thanks to Speaker's Corner on the Road. Here it comes.
Listen carefully.
How you doing, Janet? My name's Bobby. I come from Vancouver, British Columbia, and I just want to ask you a question. If you had a choice of your ideal man, which I know you can have any man you want, what kind of man would it be?
Ideal man, incredibly intelligent, very witty,
Size queen.
Yes, you're right. It's the truth. I wasn't going to say that, though. But yeah, it's the truth. See, you guys are very dirty minds.
Well, I believe in the same article that this gentleman was referring to, they mentioned that Renee is the yin to your yang, or the yang to your yin, that you complete each other. Is that so?
That we complete each other. I'd like to think that we are complete without each other, but coming together makes it even greater.
So two halves don't necessarily make a whole. Two wholes make an even stronger.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. We've got an email question that I've been saving over here. Perhaps you can look up on the monitor. Simply says, "Hey Janet, I've heard, oh goodness, I'm having a hard time reading. I've heard that your Velvet Rope tour is mature. What can we expect from it? And do you feel responsible for younger people who may be in your audience?" And this is coming in from Elizabeth.
I've heard a lot of people say that, but there's nothing that is, how should I put it, out of line in any way with the show. A lot of people have said that, and I don't know what has given them that impression, really. There's a little something for, I think, everyone in the show, but there's nothing that I don't think, like, that he wouldn't be allowed to actually watch.
Well, obviously you're very open with your sexuality as far as your lyrics are concerned, as far as your image is concerned. You incorporate that sexuality within the show itself. So, do you feel that anyone should be as open with their sexuality? Is that something that you're trying to propagate?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful thing. And why should we hide it, is the way that I see it.
Right.
If we want to express how we feel about it.
You've evolved a great deal in the last few years as far as your sexuality goes. In the past, you sang about it much more than you seem to express it when one looked at your videos or when looked at the images of you. What has fused the transformation from girl to woman as far as your sexuality goes?
I think it's just maturing, really. More so than anything. Just coming into your own, becoming a woman, really. Because I was always a tomboy growing up. Just having 6 brothers, and I was always with my brothers. Never hung out with my sisters. And as I got older, I think just that feminine side kept creeping in more and more. And is really all that it truly is. Aside from, I don't know. I think that's what it really is.
Okay. We've got a fax. Now, let me see. I've got a couple here. Let's go with the one from Melanie Chang in Halifax, who says, "What kind of person were you in school? I'm in 10th grade, but not very popular. Do you have any suggestions?"
Oh, gosh. Look, I was very shy in school, very shy. And the thing about my school, I went to a school where there were a lot of other, if you weren't on television, your father was a famous this or that, or your mother was a famous this or that. So everyone was in the business. I went to a school with a lot of kids in the industry, singers, actors, ice skaters. I was incredibly shy as a kid. Any tips? Oh gosh, you're asking the wrong person, because I truly don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't know if I can.
Not at all. I mean, you mentioned that you were a very shy person. And a lot of people go into show business to face those fears. A lot of kids that could never speak in front of, 30 kids in a classroom said, "Hey, I've got to change something with myself. I've got to face those fears." And now they address millions of people. So it's something within. You've got to take control of your life, control of where you're going, no?
You sound like me.
Huh?
You sound like me.
Well,
No, I'm just joking.
Everyone who's been shy, because I think we've all been shy in our own lives.
Yeah.
Well, we've got another question, and this time it's from Speaker's Corner. Now, I mentioned that we have Speaker's Corners across Canada. The original Speaker's Corner is right on the corner right here of Queen and John, so there's somebody in the booth right now as we speak.
Hey, Janet. Hey, Janet. How's it going? My name's Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Hi. I was just wondering, what do you look for when you pull up guys up on the stage? Because I'm going to your concert tomorrow. I'm in row 10, seat 19. I can dance. I think I'd be a pretty good candidate.
You look like you'd be a really good candidate, you said?
Yeah, I think so.
You would. There are certain things that I do look for, but I don't like to say, only because then I think all the guys would be doing exactly that, but I want it to come naturally for me to notice it, as opposed to giving out the answers and then every guy's doing it. We do get a lot of what do you call it, cardboard, yes, exactly, cardboard messages. Please pick me and this and that and whatever.
Does that actually work? Are you?
No.
No.
No, it doesn't. It hasn't yet. So.
All right, well, we're going to take a very short break. And when we come back, hopefully we'll get to your question for Janet live at Much.
It's really difficult to go out. I mean, you're always under scrutiny. There's always a reporter somewhere, like a little tabloid reporter, watching every little thing you do. And people have to understand, even though that you're a public figure, you don't belong to the public. You know, the public doesn't own you, is what I should say. A lot of paparazzi think, oh, the stars, they like that. No, they don't. Everybody needs their privacy, and there's a time and a place for everything. When you go to the premieres, when you go to the award shows, when there's certain things, certain, galas, that's okay. You expect them to be there. They expect you to be there. That's fine. You know what, you guys? This is such a joyous occasion. I mean, Tina won for Best Choreography. We won for Dance Video. Let's not even go there. Really. Thank you. Something has to be done. It's just gotten way out of hand.
Oh my God, can't believe that I saw as I turned on the TV. This evening, I was disgusted by all the...
I was so introverted and coming from a family where I was incredibly sheltered and not really being street smart or anything like that, never having that much dealings with the outside world. And the more I got out, the more I experienced certain things and saw a lot.
Ew, you are so sick. What are you doing? What? Oh, no.
A lot of people do things just to shock the public, and that's not me. It's a thin line. You have to be very careful, because I think it's really, if you don't watch yourself, you can do that, really.
Oh, baby, don't stop. Go deeper, baby, deeper. You're so good, I'm gonna cry.
Why do we have to stay quiet about it? I think it's only in the States that we're like that. It's like, it's such a private thing. But it's a beautiful thing, so why not, if you feel to, share it?
Let's wait a while. Before it's too late, let's wait a while.
I've had a guy actually come up to me when the Janet album had just come out, and he goes, oh, what are you doing? You're telling our kids to have sex. And he said, what happened to let's wait a while? And I said to him, look, how long do you want me to wait? I'm almost 30.
Anytime, and any place, I don't care who you are.
Janet, live at Much, and it can't get any liver than this. So In the tape that we just saw, you were talking about sex and how you feel that it's natural and how, you know, how come, you know, it seems that it's only in the U.S. that we're so tight-lipped about sex, we don't want to talk about it.
They're very liberal everywhere else, it seems, except for at home.
And as I was mentioning before, you seem so much more comfortable with your sexuality, but that we're getting to know you today. Are you comfortable with your sexuality, and to what extent?
Yes, I am very much so. Very much so. Like I said, I mean, it's natural, and speak about it if you feel to. Why hide it?
Well, we've got some questions about that very subject. We've got Brian. Brian, who's in the audience.
Hi, Janet. My name is Brian.
Hi, Brian.
I just wanted to say you're an amazing performer in every aspect.
Thank you.
Just wanted to go back to your control days when you first started to break into the music business and really make it big. Because I know you wanted to not only make a name for yourself as a Jackson, how hard was it for you to create your own spotlight, create your own name for yourself?
Well, I never wanted anyone to know that I was a Jackson. I wanted to make it solely on my own. I wanted people to enjoy my music or hate my music just for me, not because I was the sister of these guys or girls. Really, I didn't want anyone to know that I was a Jackson when I first started in this business. And unfortunately, I had done other things so people knew, but I tried my hardest. I never had my brothers participate in any way on my project, also because of that.
Do you feel that there are certain expectations related to being a Jackson?
Oh, of course. I mean, there are pros and cons, really. And I mean, it's definitely because of my brothers. They helped pave the way for myself and putting their foot in the door and saying, hurry up, come on in, you know. But, you know, like I said, there are pros and cons. It's difficult at times.
We've got another question, this time from Nikki, who's also in the audience. You lucky girl, Nikki.
Hi, Janet. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
I just want to say I love you, and I've idolized you for almost my whole life. Hi, Janet. I'm Tiffany, and I have to say you're the most original music artist in the whole world. Our question to you is that we noticed in the earlier stages of your career, you used to wear a key in your earring. I've always wanted to know what that meant, what that symbolized to you.
What the key was? The key was actually, we had lots of animals growing up. And my brother Mike and I, we took care of the animals. And we had like giraffe, fawn, all kinds of animals. We had cats, I mean like leopards, things like that.
Wow.
So that was the key to the cages of the animals. So I never had like a keychain or anything like that, so I wouldn't lose the key to the cages. I kept it on my earring.
We've got another question. That was a great question. From Paula in Saskatchewan, who's on the phone. Hi, Paula.
Hi.
Hi. Do you have a question for Janet?
Yeah, hi, Janet.
Hi.
I'd just like to say The Velvet Rope is definitely your best CD you've come out with, and I love your music, and I've been your fan for many years. But I'd like to ask you, what's the best advice you've ever received?
The best advice?
Yeah.
To be true to myself and to always do what I feel in my heart. Always listen to my heart, more so than anything.
Your instincts.
Yes.
We've got a fax question here. I kind of tucked it in back of me so I wouldn't lose it here. This is a question from Diane Stafford in Thompson, Manitoba. And she says, when I got my hands on the Velvet Rope, I saw this beautiful symbol on the inside. Could you please tell me what significance it has to you, if any?
Yes, it's from the Sankofa tribe in South Africa. And it means to walk into your past, go back into your past, in order to move into the future, in order to build a future for yourself. And it's basically what the album is saying. And I put it here on my wrist so that I would never forget this time in my life. Every time I look at it, I think about that, about what I went through. And that's what the album talks about. It's like I had to revisit my past in order to produce this music. That's why I always say it took me 31 years to make this album.
A lot of people wear tattoos because it represents a specific period in their life or a turning point in their life. We talked about this tattoo in particular. What about your other tattoos?
Oh, those those are just tattoos.
No turning points you want to talk about with us?
No, I've always loved tattoos and piercings, and my problem was always growing up. I always asked my mother, could I do this? Could I do that? And of course, she's going to say no. I remember being in high school and I wanted my nose pierced, and she said no. I asked her, I said, Mother, I really like dreadlocks. Before I could even get it out, she said, no, you can't have dreadlocks. So I never did any of those things. So I think when I finally said, you know what, this album, I'm doing it for myself. I'm going to do the things that I've always wanted to do. Even though there's one tattoo that I've had for a really long time that my mother never really knew about, but
I guess she does now.
Well, yeah, she does now because of the cover of one magazine in particular. But a lot of people thought I had just gotten it, but I actually had it for a good while.
Do they have any spiritual meaning as well?
No.
No, not at all?
No. This is the one that's the safest.
All right, we've got another Speaker's Corners question, and this person's from Vancouver. Okay.
Listen carefully.
Hi, I'm Sally from Vancouver, and this is Sarah.
Hi.
And we have a question for Janet Jackson.
What would you say is the greatest change between the Janet Jackson we saw 10 years ago and the Janet we see today?
That I'm much more open. I've always written about what's gone on in my life, but I'm much more outgoing. I'm much more open. I'm a lot happier. I'm enjoying life a lot more these days.
Just the fact that you came in our environment today and that there's so many fans and you're going outside and meeting people, that says a lot. I mean, not just anybody would want to do that. That's wonderful.
Well, I really do enjoy it, and I'm really happy to be here. I mean, this is fun for me.
Are you guys having a good time? All right. We've got an email question for you now. The question goes as follows. Oh, you were going to hang on to the email question. We'll get back to that in a second. First, let's talk to people that are actually here. We've got Erica, who's in the audience.
Hi.
Erica? Hi.
Okay, first of all, I just like to start off saying I love you like a sister, a friend I never had. You're a true inspiration.
Thank
really.
you very much.
And I'd like to know, in which way do you consider yourself a role model?
In which way?
Yeah.
I believe that whether we want to be or not, we are. Just by being in this business, people are going to look up to you because of being on television or making music. I think you have to be very careful with what you say and what you do, but at the same time, it's a really fine line because you have to be true to yourself. Stay as true as possible to yourself, really. So it's a real fine line. It's a difficult thing. Whether you want to be or not, you are.
We've got another question here, and it's an email question. We've got it now for real. It simply says, "Hey, Janet, and everybody at Much, thank you, everybody." Janet, in the time that you've been a musical idol, you have composed and sung songs with many artists, and I was wondering, which do you enjoy the most, singing alone or with others? And if so, who was your favorite artist to sing with? And this is coming in from Melissa in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
Well, that's an interesting question. I've never been asked that before. I don't think it's necessarily one over the other. I enjoy them both, really. I think certain songs or certain feelings, certain moments call for it being solely you, and others, with another artist, with another singer. Who's been my favorite to sing with? I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough question.
Probably not Shaggy.
Who said Mike, my brother? Doing Scream was really fun, and it was a really interesting project. It was really long hours. I mean, it was a video that was only supposed to take 3 days to shoot. It took 7 days to shoot it, and I was working in the day. Michael's a night owl, so he was working all night, and I get up real early in the morning, so that's how we worked, really.
That's incredible. I also heard rumors, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you might be working with your brother-in-law, or your former brother-in-law, with Chico DeBarge?
Oh, I'm going with former brother-in-law.
That was a long time ago.
I know, right? Chico and I talk on the phone. Actually, lately, a lot. We've been talking on the phone. There's a possibility. Not quite sure, but there's a possibility.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll get to be in the same room with him as opposed to on the phone like Shaggy.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. He reminds me so much of his brother. Every time I see a picture of him, it reminds me a lot of his brother, which is...
Is that a good thing, or...?
It's not a bad thing. It just brings back conjures up all these thoughts, images, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all.
Well, that's cool. Sounds like you're at peace.
Yes.
We're going to, give you another opportunity to go see the fans out at the window. Would you guys like that? No? How about you, Janet? Are you in it? Yeah. All right. Let's go. Take a small little walk and get closer to the fans. Now, this is great. The fact that you're willing to come and meet the people that love you above all makes an incredible difference in their lives, no doubt. We're going to try to make them smile now and see if we can get their questions. We've got this young man here. Sir, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Ryan.
What's your question?
I just want to tell Janet that I love her so much. And my question for her is, what are her greatest accomplishments in her life? Like, what does she feel are her greatest accomplishments?
Okay, Janet. Got a question from this young man over here who wants to know what you feel your greatest accomplishments are.
My greatest accomplishments? I would say making this album really was for myself, because it really wasn't an easy thing for me to do, and I did it, and I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of it.
Well, obviously these people are proud too. Look at this energy over here. All right. We've got another young lady. What's your name, sweet?
Hi, I'm Tanya. Hi, how are you?
What's your question?
Hi, Janet. I think that you're a good, strong role model for black women, and I would like to say that I was wondering how did you cope with with the people that died from AIDS that were your friends? And because my father he has cancer, and it's hard for me to cope with it, and I just want to know your advice about it.
Advice? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, well, she was just sharing something that's going on in her life. Her father is dying with cancer, and she wanted to know how you cope with some of your friends dying from AIDS.
What helped me cope the most was actually my friends, and knowing that I would see them again. And that's really what did it for me. Knowing that it's not as if we'll never be together again. And I know that I will see them again. That's truly the way that I feel. And I wrote the song for them, reflecting their character, their personality, and to hopefully help others, such as yourself, to understand that. You know what I mean?
So it's all about having good people around your girlfriend. We're going to learn a lot more about Janet Jackson right after this short break. When we come back, Janet, live at Much.
Growing up, seeing my brothers, how hard they worked and all that they did when they were just little kids. but still it was a love for this. I didn't want to have my last name attached because I wanted people to enjoy my music for me. I didn't want them to buy it because I was the sister of these guys or these girls. I am very competitive. I'm even competitive with my own family, but that's a friendly competitiveness.
The 1995 MTV Video Music Awards.
My favorite thing about doing this screen video was it was really an excuse to work with my sister Janet. Because I truly adore her. She's one of the sweetest people in the world.
People expect to see what you're going to do. And I think they expect a lot out of you because your last name is Jackson.
Now, obviously, these fans are loving it here. You're comfortable in this environment with the fans so close to you?
Yeah, I like it like this, very much so. Especially, I mean, you get to hear the questions that they want answered as opposed to, you know what I mean? So, which is what we were just talking about, so.
Hey, you hear that? It's all about you guys. Now, we've got somebody who's on the line from Sydney, Nova Scotia. Melanie, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, Melanie. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hi. I just wanted to say that you're such a great entertainer and that I love your voice, and I only hope that someday I can sing as great as you or half as great as you.
Very sweet. Thank you very much.
I was wondering why you have a nipple ring.
Why I was that?
Could you repeat that, Melanie?
Why you have a nipple ring? I saw you on Oprah.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Because. Thank you. Because it's a sexual thing. It's the sensation that you get at really any given moment of the day. I mean, someone could brush up against you and you get this like sensation, or I mean, it just happens. But it's a sexual thing.
So it's true what they say about nipple rings and
nipple rings,
other rings. I've got my little 10-year-old cousin in the audience, and she asked me earlier, do you think Janet Jackson would recommend me getting a tattoo or a piercing or something? You think if I asked her, my mom would let me have one? How do you respond to that?
Wouldn't. She probably, I can't remember telling you that. I have a niece who's so much like me, my brother Jermaine's daughter. And she has a couple of piercings and tattoos as well. But she just went ahead and did it. And he was upset in the beginning. But I told her, I said, look, I said, your father's going to love you. Parents are going to kill me for this. But he's going to love you anyway. He's going to get upset. You're going to get yelled at, sent to your room, whatever. He'll get over it. So,
blame it on Janet.
No, don't blame it on me. I'm kidding. No, but how old are you? You're 10?
10.
Oh, that's really young. Plus, I don't think they'll, well, I don't know about here, but at home they won't do it unless your parents go with you, unless you're 18, to be 18 or older to go in by yourself, so.
I could just see my little cousin.
I think you're getting one anytime soon.
I could just see my little cousin walking down the street. Ooh, ooh.
Oh, my God. No.
We've got an audience question. From Shamir. Hi, Shamir.
Hi, Janet. I'm
Hi.
Shamir. I just want to say I love you. I think you're so beautiful.
Thank you.
Before you did the show Fame, you had just graduated high school. I know you wanted to go on to university, but your father wanted you to do the show, so you did Fame. And I'm just wondering, would you ever consider putting your career on hold to go back to school?
I do want to go back to school. I'd like to do that. Someday I will.
What do you want to study?
Well, I still want to study business law. So,
Stanford's a good school.
so I don't know. Who knows? By the time I get there, I don't know. It may change, but that's my heart is still there, and that's what I wanted to study then. I still want to study now.
That's fantastic. I mean, the fact that you're at that point in your career, you've sold millions of albums, you're doing what you really love to do, and yet you still want to go back to school, that's a really positive message.
Well, see, that's something that I've always wanted to do, and a lot of people have said to me, "Oh, you're crazy. I mean, why do you need to go back to school? You've kind of made it in this business." But schooling is really important to me, and it's something that I really do love, so I want to go back.
And it all depends on your definition of success as well. I mean, what's yours?
That's success.
Yeah. What is yours?
What is my definition?
Yeah.
Doing what you love, doing what you want to do, succeeding. I think there's no way of failing unless you don't try. You know what I mean? If let me put this way. Failing is to not try. Is the way that I see it. I know a lot of people say, well, I've tried and this and that, and I failed, I didn't succeed, this and that. To me, that's not failing. It's when you don't try, is when you have failed.
There are a lot of sayings that say that in the Tao, the book of the Tao. They're spiritual. We've got another question from our audience. This is from Adil.
Hi.
Adil?
Hi, Janet.
Hi.
My name is Adil. This is my friend Tova.
Hi.
And we were the only ones out here last night waiting for you, and it was all worth it. And my question is, if you were stuck in the desert, who would you want to be with besides Renee, and why?
Oh, God. Who would I want to be with? Just one person?
Okay, I finished now.
She's saying me. I gotta think about that, but it's more than one person. I do know that I want to be in the desert.
All right. Well, we've got a fax question here while you think about that one. This is coming in from Tanya in Montreal, who says, if you had to name the worst song to wake up to in the morning, what would it be? And what would be the best song?
The worst song?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a hard question. I don't know. I really don't know. Let's see, the best song? These are really tough questions. I mean, just to narrow it down to one song.
You can name a few if you want.
There's this one CD that I have that I absolutely love, and it's called Bossa Nova Brazil. And it's just all different Brazilian artists. And it really puts me in a wonderful mood. And a lot of times I'll put that on, or there's another CD that I'm crazy about that I really like, and it keeps growing on me more and more, which is John B. CD.
Yeah. Okay, and what about the songs that you just can't stand?
That I just can't stand? I don't know. I hear somebody whisper. I won't say what you said, but I hear these names being called out, or these groups, and that's funny. But I truly, I don't know. I really don't.
Does it start with an M? Next question. We've got an email.
Oh, I get that. No, actually, no, it doesn't.
Okay. We've got an email question for you now. If you just look at the monitor, you'll see the question up front. Now, this is coming in, and it says, "Hey, Janet, my name is Charles Rowland. I'm a big fan, live in Bermuda. What I wanted to know was how long did it take you to learn the dance steps for songs like Together Again, and could you do one for us?"
Total honesty. I know, right? Where's Tina? In total honesty, I can't because of my shoes that I have on right now. No, I really can't because I'm not supposed to dance in shoes this high. It's not. No, it's not good for your back.
Okay.
My back and my knees. So.
All right, we can all respect that.
What was the other part of the question, though?
Well, the second part kind of disappeared. I know it was about the velvet rope.
How long did it take to...
Hold on. Yeah, how long did it take? And also there was a P.S. If you have any videos of the Velvet Rope Tour, could you possibly mail me one? I don't think so. But keep watching Much Music because you know that we're going to be airing those videos as soon as we get them. But are those all, like, movements that are natural to you and then your choreographer takes from that and adds on things?
Well, I've worked with Tina for so long now. I mean, she was on the Rhythm Nation project. And she knows me. So I think we work really well together. But it's Tina, really. And I think knowing the things that I like to do, that's what I love about Tina. She can do anything. If you want to be like... That's the way love goes. It's supposed to be very sexy, or Runaway. That was, more feminine. She can do that, but if you want to do something a lot tougher, she can do that too. I mean, she's just an incredible choreographer, and that's why I really love working with her. She has so many different sides to her, and I think that's incredible to get in one choreographer. She can do it all. She really can.
It takes an enormous amount of discipline to be able to sing and to dance and to produce and to write, and all of these things are training, whether it's professional training or not. It's all training. What in over 25 years of your career, what do you feel is the most important training that you've had as far as longevity is concerned?
The most important training? I would just say more so than anything, just stick-to-itiveness, determination. Those are the things I would say that I guess that comes just with my family, growing up in my family, and my parents are incredibly competitive, and I think all of that rubbed off on us, and always trying to do your best and with whatever it is that you want to do. Just trying to do your best.
You mentioned your family, and there has been a cloud over the Jackson family name. But what are some of the good things that you remember, some of the positive things that make you smile?
Oh, there are lots. Being with my brothers when I was a kid, they would, in the studio, they were going on tour all the time, rehearse. My parents, they have a whole studio at their house, a recording studio as well as like a rehearsal studio. So we grew up with this, and I'd always run in there and get on the drums while they're trying to rehearse for their tour. They never kicked me out, never, not once did they, and I love them for that. When normally, being like the youngest in the family, you always, would get picked on. Sometimes I did by Randy. We used to get into fights sometimes, Randy and I, but at the same time, we were very close and always holding hands, and they never kicked me out of the room. They never told me that I couldn't. My brothers never did that to me, and always told me that I could achieve whatever it was that my heart desires, and I believe that. I believe anyone can.
How are those relationships now?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, are you guys happy you got a chance to get closer to Janet? Are you happy you came?
Yes, I really am.
I am thrilled that not only did you stay and hang out with us for a while, but you're all people out there. You want to take one more look at the fans up close? Go out through the window? All right, let's do that. Go. Are you feeling good, folks? You having a good time yet? We've got a good It's been an amazing thanks to all these people, and thanks to you, Janet. Thank you so much for spending so much time.
My pleasure. I had a wonderful time. I'd love to do it again.